Hey there, my name's Joe Keyport, and you're listening to the Ear Coffee Podcast. For this week's episode, I talked to all four members of the band Waking Hours. In February of this year, the band released their EP Blank Stare, an EP I really feel like shows what this band can do and what this band will do. They're a new band, they're a young band, which makes it extra cool to talk to them. They even stopped by the house and they played a few songs for our live session series, and you've probably been watching them over on our YouTube channel. We have 2 songs up, and one more song is coming out this Friday as of recording the intro to this podcast. It's exciting to always have them over. We love their music here at Ear Coffee. It's Waking Hours, and they're right here on the Ear Coffee Podcast. So how's it going?
Lovely.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's going great.
Disembodied voice. Well, hell yeah. We just finished a live session here. It's fantastic. How you guys feeling?
Sweaty,
Yeah, a little worn out.
Yeah.
but feeling really good. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, quick, before we get too far into things, let's have y'all put some names to voices, kind of introduce yourself, what you do in the band.
Okay, I can start. I'm Hayden. I play lead guitar.
I'm Liv. I'm the singer and I play rhythm guitar.
My name is Henry Lundy Dedish, and I play the drums.
My name's Connor. I play the bass and very rarely the guitar.
And piano.
And piano.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. One of the things I like to ask every band before at the beginning is, what's the sentence you use to describe the band? Usually it's like a family member at Christmas, or it's your coworker who really doesn't get it. They're like, "Oh, you're in a band? Cool. What is it?" And you're like, how do you describe Waking Hours in that one sentence?
Check out the genre name I came up with.
Ethereal.
Yeah.
We're starting a new genre, and it's called ethereal indie rock
Yeah.
as a descriptor.
The way I describe it to people is like if you put together dream pop and shoegaze.
And the snail mail type indie strummy.
Yeah.
Like mix those.
Usually when I say shoegaze, people don't know what it is. So I usually just say kind of indie rock, but kind of hard.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah. Shoegaze can be kind of like a weird umbrella term that you do or don't want to fit into when it's convenient or not convenient. So it's a little weird, but our latest EP definitely fits more into that.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about kind of the history of the band. Kind of when did y'all start individually kind of making music, and how did the band come together? So you can either keep going in the...
Connor.
Why would you start with me? I joined last.
Yeah, you were the first
What do you mean?
You were the earliest member,
Oh,
talk about what.
and then me.
I guess. Okay, sure. We all go to Gustavus down in St. Peter. Shout out Gustavus Adolphus College.
Gusties will shine.
We're all gonna. That's real. We're all gonna be seniors next year. I met Liv. We were in the same orientation group actually, and I remember I was just walking through Pittman, the dorm building, and I saw Liv, and Liv was like, "We should start playing music together." Whatever. I was like, "That's a good idea," because we knew that we both played instruments, and then our good friend Alex J. Shout out
The
Alex. He was like, "Oh, I want to make a band on campus that would, kind of just play at house shows and be low key and just play, covers and stuff like that." So he recruited me and then Hayden
Foster first,
and Foster.
and then me.
Oh yeah.
And I said I wouldn't play guitar, but I'd play bass.
Yes, you played bass for a while. Shout out Foster. He's OG.
Yeah.
And then we went by the name of Wet Laundry. I think that was Foster's idea. It was a really good band name.
Totally.
I like it. And then I was like, "Oh, we should bring in Liv because she plays stuff."
We didn't really have a singer
Yeah,
or a
not
guitar
really.
player.
Yeah. Yeah, not really.
You didn't have the members to join.
Well, Alex was good.
Yeah.
Alex was good on guitar.
Yeah.
We need another to play
for
lead
sure.
parts.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I was like, and I knew that you had you were into making music. So like one time I was like, you should play some original stuff that you have. And then you started playing Rot, which is off of our first EP.
First song we ever played together.
Yes.
Yeah. Good time.
And
In the dorm room.
yeah, the electric drum kit. And then it kind of blossomed from there. We kind of shifted more towards going and doing original music. And Foster and Alex kind of stepped aside and were like, this is getting a little, I guess, more serious than we wanted it to be, which is not a bad thing. They were just like, we could see that, you're more into making more original music, so we'll let it be. And then we got more serious, and then Connor joined.
Yeah.
And you guys can speak more.
I started making like lead guitar parts, and I was like, I can't play these on bass. And so I just stopped playing bass, and now we didn't have a bass player, and I knew Connor, and so.
Yeah, I think, honestly, my audition for the band was probably just the fact that I owned a bass. I'd played it on something we played together in band, and I had one, and originally I was just asked to join as a live member. And I was like, yeah, why not? It doesn't sound like that much of a commitment. I can play bass on this stuff. and then I showed up first practice together. I actually think the first song I played with you was also Rot, even though that was much later. And then I was like, oh wait, these people are actually good at writing music. Maybe I'll like stick with this a little more. Like, I didn't know what it was going to sound like. I was just like, I'm going to play the bass.
Oh, we were going to be like shit.
Well, I did not have any point of reference. I still just play root notes, but yeah. And then pretty quickly, it did not take long before you were all just like, why don't you just join the band for real instead of just being a live member? Because I was rehearsing with you all the time and everything. So before the first EP came out, even, I was officially a member, I think, not just a live member. Yeah,
because we did that photo shoot.
Yeah, we did do that photo
Our
shoot.
first photo shoot. So young.
That's about it, though. So now we're here.
We adopted the name Waking Hours. We started playing, like, the three of us since like about fall of 2023.
The three of us, yeah.
Oh,
But Connor was fall 2023.
oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
No, I joined in the fall, I'm pretty sure.
fall.
Okay.
You asked me to join in the spring, and then nothing actually happened for a while, and then
My fault.
We're going about 3 to 4 years strong.
Yeah. So that's the really long version of
Hell yeah. What was you said the original kind of iteration pre-Waking Hours was kind of like more to be like a house party band.
Yeah.
What was the music scene like for Gustavus? Is there like a bunch of bands there, or is it kind of because you're kind of in the middle of St. Peter's, kind of like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're closer to probably Mankato than you are here.
Yeah, for sure.
It doesn't exist in St. Peter. Other than like a couple, like honestly, like right around when we started, like a couple other Gustavus bands like existed. And now there's a couple more.
Yeah.
That you're all in all of them.
I'm in most of them.
Yeah, Connor's in so many bands.
Mankato, we haven't really like seen a huge scene there, but we're always like enthusiastic because it's like 15 minutes away, and it would be really cool to see more live music happen there.
Yeah, I think when we first started, it was very like there was nothing really going on. There had been bands in the past like Gustavus, but people had graduated and moved on. And then once we started, other bands started picking up a little, and we started advocating for like the school to be supportive of the bands and like give us a rehearsal space, give us opportunities to perform on campus. And as that happened, like more bands started popping up, and now we do like a
GMAC.
like we have GMAC
Shout
now,
out GMAC.
which is like our org to do shows and stuff on campus.
Cool.
So we put on like a battle of the bands, like little music festivals now. So we've got it going a little.
Yeah, we're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool that the school was receptive and kind of embraced it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really supportive.
And so, were all of you writing music, or was it mostly you, Liv? You'd been writing original music before the band kind of got going, or was everybody kind of trying to do something as you were forming?
I think at first it was like I had songs that I had written or that I was writing, And like a lot of the times the way the songwriting would work is Hayden would come up with a really good guitar part and then I would like try to sing something over it. That's actually how our first song Waking Hours happened. Was he made a really nice guitar part, I made a vocal for it. So that's how a lot of our songs end up, but now it's kind of like a everyone writes.
Yeah, I've written more songs for the last EP, and Connor has a song now that he wrote.
Yeah,
and it's a little more collaborative now. But even with like making parts over Liv's ideas.
Yeah. Like I've always written music since I was in middle school. I have not written a lot of music that sounds like this. Like I write a lot of jazz fusion type stuff. That's kind of an area where I've operated. A lot of like instrumental rock type stuff when I was in high school. None of it very good. But this type of music is more new to me. So when I wrote that first song that I've written for the band, which is still unreleased, it was kind of a new thing for me. Trying to see how I could take some of my writing style and then fit it into what Waking Hours sound like.
Yeah.
But a lot of my music is very different from this.
Sure. Shout out Pedals. Shout out. That's my hometown band. We have one single that's released on Spotify. That's like where I started playing the drums with the band. I've like written lyrics for them and stuff, but yeah, shout out Pedals. Listen, pedals.band.
Hell yeah. With, I'm always interested, especially since, kind of you talk about like your home base is kind of more jazz fusion, instrumental rock. How did you land on kind of that dream pop shoegazy sound? I always find it interesting how a band gets there, because especially I'm assuming y'all listen to all sorts of music, and maybe your like comfort genre isn't always maybe that what you make. How did you kind of land on the sound of Waking Hours?
Do you want me to go? Okay. Well, I think like we all come from very different musical backgrounds, like completely different actually. And Henry drums really hard, which is awesome. And I had never really experienced, you want to say something about that? Okay. And I'd never really experienced that before, like in terms of like what the energy is. I've always, like in my own listening, appreciated more reverberant and like dreamy sounds just in general. And I think that when I write a guitar part, it's not like a dry sound. It's just really washy and like obscured in texture. And so that's just kind of my like musical language. I don't really think twice about it or try to write songs that are like shoegaze songs. It just kind of like happens, I guess. Okay. But like your writing is more like folk based, but it still comes through as washy.
Yeah. I feel like I listen, like in terms of my own songwriting, I listen to a lot of like Phoebe Bridgers, Lizzie McAlpine, like those sorts of artists. And that's where like my songwriting kind of sits and originates. And so it was cool to bring that into like with Henry's heavier drumming, with Hayden's like really washy guitar parts. And Connor does some like really like cool like bass riffs and stuff. So I think just it's really true though. But like putting that all together, I think it's why we had to kind of come up with a different little name for the genre that we're playing, because we are bringing together like 4 completely different sounds to make our sound, and we're all staying pretty true to like what we do.
Yeah, me and Liv at first were trying to be Big Thief, and that was about it for a long time. We're just like, I'm just gonna like play dreamy little licks over this folk song, and it's gonna be great.
Yep, one of our first covers was Parallels.
That was not good.
It was bad.
So then talk to me about, because that first EP, which was released in 2023 in December, as I have it pulled up here quick, it's getting cold out here. Was that songs that existed before the band, or was that kind of a collaborative thing that was being put together? I
think like at least Rot and Little Bug existed before the band. I had just written those. I had like been playing them just with acoustic guitar, but then like decided I wanted to add things. And at that time, the way that we wrote was, I was like, this is what I have. Everyone write something for it. And that's like what the process was. And then, like I said earlier, that song Waking Hours was Hayden writing a guitar part.
Yeah. We recorded that in like 2 hours. We just figured it out. That was like the best night ever.
It was fun.
That was sick. Amazing.
And then Rapids, I think, like existed as a song, but then Hayden wrote like a cool solo and we like restructured things a little. That's kind of how a lot of it worked, was just structuring songs differently, but they all kind of existed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for a lot of the process of putting that album together. I'm actually only on a couple of the songs. Hayden played bass on a lot of that. So I was not there for a lot of that one coming together. Yeah.
I just played the guitar.
Yeah, I just work here, man. So was that all recorded on campus? Did you guys go somewhere for that, or?
So far, actually, all of our release music has been recorded on campus in like a makeshift studio space that we've sort of created that has so many windows and mirrors.
It's a nice space, though. And
it is.
The goat Henry Breen makes it sound amazing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Shout out to him. Yeah. Shout out. Why not?
So then, kind of moving on to the EP that came out earlier this year, which is Blank Stare. Kind of how, now that the band is kind of a fully formed unit, especially listening between the two of them, it felt like this felt like a Waking Hours EP. Not that I'm discounting the first one, but
I discount the first ones.
but I was just like, oh, this is it. They figured it out. They kind of got it down a little bit. Talk to me about kind of that process of getting from It's Getting Cold Out Here to Blank Stare, and kind of how the band was really working together.
I'll just say, first off, with the drums, I would just think that the two singles in between those two EPs really, I think, kind of showed a good evolution of like.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, even just listening to the drums, I especially with like Miss the Dog and Crop Circles, those are two songs where I felt or I was more free to play how I usually like to play. Not saying that, I didn't enjoy playing on the first EP, but it was definitely getting a little more voluminous.
Crop Circles especially for you.
Yeah. And I think, it was shifting to a more fuller sound, I feel. So
hearing the mix for Miss the Dog like come in was like a huge breakthrough moment of like progression. Like it was like, whoa, like we actually like we're kind of like building this and it's kind of taking shape. It was really cool.
I think actually the ending of Miss the Dog, like the breakdown at the very end, is what kind of segued us into that like more shoegaze-ish realm, like where songs that we were writing after that was like, oh, we should do more of that. Like that's really cool. People were really receptive to that. They're like, what did you do at the end? Oh my God. Like, and it's like, oh, so we should keep doing that. We should keep writing like that.
Why weren't Crop Circles and Miss the Dog on the newest EP? Was there a reason? Or
everyone turns to me. I mean, I think it was like we did those at the end of 2023, and I wrote What Would It Take, which is the first song that we did for that EP in like March or something. Like it was just a very long time between, and it felt very separate, like not the same idea. Like I feel like Blank Stare was very, even though it was multiple of us songwriting, it was still a very like singular idea and like concept behind it, and those didn't really fit. Yeah.
Blank Stare was definitely like, it works as a project for us, I think. Like there's a lot of if you listen to the first song, Through My Eyes, and then if you listen to Static Buzz, which is the last song, which is a cover we did of Snail Mail, because that's just like our cover song that we would play at all our shows since we started. So we thought it was special.
And it fit the overarching thing,
the theme.
Of, like, what it is.
But there's like connections, like there's some screaming I do, which I lost my voice for literally like 3 weeks after I did that.
Damn.
It was bad, but they're screaming, and it's the same screams in the first song and the last song, and then the EP just kind of feels like, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Thanks. But it just kind of has like a natural like progression, I think, like a shape to it, and Crop Circles and Miss a Dog just didn't really fit. They acted as a really good segue for us to allow us to kind of naturally fall into what Blank Stare ended up being.
Really tight, and it's a really tight EP. You know, like it's all
killer, no filler.
Yeah,
Killer, no
I guess
filler.
you could say that. Yeah. Shout out Sum 41.
Talk to me then, kind of what you were, as you were kind of writing that, what you were putting into that EP, and we don't have to like we don't have to do like a track by track thing, but kind of what were the emotions, the feelings, what were you talking about as you were putting that together?
Yeah, I can say some stuff about what I was doing. I wasn't necessarily super involved in the writing of some of the songs, although I did, I think, help to make some structural like pacing decisions for a couple of them. But a lot of what I try to do as a bass player, right, is serve the song. That's what everyone says. I'm not here to necessarily be noticed, but I think especially as we go in a more shoegazy direction where everything is so reverby, so like it's heavier, more textural. What a bass player can do is add rhythmic interest, add little melodic lines, like small moments, but just things that add to the overall texture. And that, even though my musical background is not necessarily the same as everyone else's here and is not as much in this type of music, I am a person that loves writing music with textures. I'm a big post-rock fan. That's all of post-rock. So I try to bring a little bit of that in, even when it's a very different style of music I'm playing on.
Do you want me to talk about like the conceptual stuff behind it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
With the like.
Yeah, I like, well, the concept, like I think when I was writing lyrics, I had a concept in mind, and just, I mean, the songs in general, I guess, of like it's an image in my head of like someone with the lights on, just like staring at the ceiling, kind of like laying in bed, and like just lyrical themes of like isolation, I guess. I tried to like really channel those vibes, and that inspired the name as well as the cover art. Yeah.
And I wrote on this EP, I wrote All I'm Known For, which is definitely more of like a ballad on the EP, but it still fits in like lyrically and like stylistically to the like overarching theme. So I didn't even actually super know that, so I'm glad that happened.
There was always the image though, like,
yeah,
you know,
there would be times we were talking about it and be like, this EP feels blue to me. Like,
I think I did actually say that.
I think we did have a conversation about it feeling blue. Like, I was just gonna say, for the cover art and stuff, this was just kind of a little thing that maybe like it's fun if people notice. But the cover art for Blank Stare, or not Blank Stare, the cover art for What Would It Take as a single is like a Walkman, like cassette, open, and it has a little cassette sticking out that says Waking Hours, and then a pair of like the orange like old Walkman headphones. And then if you go to the EP cover art and you look at it, the girl in the photo who's like just staring up at the ceiling like Blank Stare, she's wearing the headphones from the single cover art to kind of bring them together and make it a little theme. So like all of the merch designs and everything that is going into it now is like with a cassette player and like headphones, stuff like that. So I'm excited about it.
I think, going off of what Hayden was saying, I think just like the name of the EP, Blank Stare, kind of makes me think of just like daydreaming and kind of just staring at nothing and kind of not having any thoughts in your head. And I kind of like relating that to the sound, at least of like the first two songs, at least, of just like everything's kind of like very full and very kind of, it's hard to like latch on to like certain aspects of the sound. It's just very kind of out there. So very dreamy, I guess. I guess one thing that I think separates my playing on this EP from the past songs that we played is a lot more bass drum. So I don't have a double kick. I've never really used double kick that much, but I think just like I've realized, and I realized I don't even like do it voluntarily, but I just involuntarily try and put as much kick into it as I can. Kind of, I don't know, make some more bassy.
Parody EP, Gen Z Stare.
I'm done.
Well, moving on from that, I always like to talk, especially since you guys are still such a relatively new band. What's kind of the grand scheme as we're kind of moving on? You're all seniors. You kind of have this opportunity to. Are you gonna try and move on to the cities here, or what's kind of the grand scheme thoughts for what you want as musicians and as a band?
Hard to say.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
We'll be here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I know that we've talked about like wanting to continue and it being something that we're all like we want to keep music in our lives and keep performing and playing. And so like if the opportunity presents itself to continue playing, then like that's what we want to do. I know like me personally, I'm probably going to move to the cities after I graduate. And like, I love this band and I would want to keep playing and doing shows, writing music.
And we're all from the cities or the surrounding area. So we're pretty close.
Aww.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, we have some singles in the works too. And like, have thrown around the idea of bigger projects too. So I think it's just kind of we're like rolling with the punches at this point, like seeing what happens, seeing where life takes us. Yeah.
Do you have like even like big picture, like a goal, even if it's individually with music? Like what's kind of like that thing you want to get done as a musician? Doesn't even have to, if it's the band, that's cool. But sorry, you can go first. I want to go on a tour. Like, I think touring sounds so fun. I know that it's like tiring and like wears people out, but I think like it sounds so fulfilling. And also just like writing a full length album as like a thought through project would be really cool to be able to do.
That's what I was going to say. Just a full album where it's one idea that we all spend a lot of time with and make sure that we're all happy with it when it gets released.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, a full album. That'd be sick. Oh, like best new bands.
Yeah.
That'd be
Dude,
cool.
Getting into best new bands would be
Yeah, that would be sick.
awesome. Or just playing any of those like bigger venues in the cities.
Yeah.
Because I go see concerts there,
Yeah.
so it's like playing on that stage would just be. It's like what little Liv would like cry about when I'd go to stadium concerts. I'd be like, "That's gonna be me one day."
it's always a fun flex on your coworkers too. You're not music coworkers. You'd be like, yeah, I played there. Yeah.
So casual.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah. I know X, Y, and Z. Next, kind of what's the next stuff coming up for Waking Hours? What should people be kind of aware of on the horizon?
We have a show at The Mess in September 20th, I believe. Shout out The Mess. That was our first ever show in the cities.
Yeah.
Caroline is awesome. And it's the last show for the season for that venue. So that'll be really fun. Got some stuff going on down in St. Peter. So anyone down there, like we'll be playing at some local bars.
Yep.
Pretty soon. But we're trying to set up just more shows in the fall, I think.
Hopefully work on recording the singles we have. The one we just played in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. The one.
And then kind of as we're winding down here, we always like to ask bands kind of their local shout outs. Who should people know about? It could be local, could be regional. You know, what are the bands here you're listening to that other people should be aware of?
I have so many. You guys get yours.
We do a little
first.
round table.
All right, my number one probably, and Hayden's wearing the shirt right now, would be Berzica. We've played. How many shows have we played with them now?
2.
Just 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great time every time. They're really cool people. incredible music. The song that I wrote for Waking Hours, which is still unrecorded, was very heavily influenced by Berserka's sound. And I think people probably would hear that, but that was a big influence. So that would probably be my number one local band. This is cheating, but I guess I can shout out a couple of my own projects. I feel obligated. I feel obligated. If you're into more of a funk fusion kind of sound, I'm in a sextet called Pyramid Scheme where I play guitar. You can listen to our debut album on any streaming service when we've said all we can say. Also recorded in the very same room as all of Waking Hours music, so another Gustavus connection there. I've got a solo project I'm working on right now, coming out hopefully by the end of the year. We'll see on that. And then some more experimental electronic stuff that, once again, hopefully by the end of the year, but we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see, Aphid. Shout out Aphid. We played a show with them. We played 2 shows with them technically. They're the OGs. Really nice. Let's see. She's Green obviously is like kind of the like they definitely influenced us a lot. We've covered one of their songs.
That was fun
back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just a great band, and it's great to see that they're like, getting some notoriety, and it's just cool that they're from the Twin Cities. Anybody in Duluth, shout out Oblique. It's a little small band. This is one of my close friends. Is in that band. Let's see. I already shouted out Pedals. No.
Want me to go? Okay.
Everybody's frantically looking at Spotify.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to
classic.
miss any.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Mine are like the recent, the kind of the legends. 12th House Sun is awesome. Prize Horse.
Yeah.
She's Green obviously is huge. Who else? Linus. The new Peeler EP is fire. I think that's what I got. Hearts of Gold. Amazing. Yeah.
He's
Goats.
stealing all of mine.
Oh, yeah,
Marcus
yeah.
Rex.
Oh yeah.
They're fire.
Also one of the best band names of all time.
Yeah, it's a good band name. We also played with Lent once, and they did like it reminded me of
The War on Drugs.
the War on Drugs.
Ooh.
That was pretty sick. They kind of everyone kind of stole mine.
Sorry.
God.
I've got one more if you want more time to think.
Yeah.
I also want to shout out Room 3. If you're into any kind of fusion sound at all, check out Room 3. In particular, their drummer, Rottweiler. Just unreal stuff.
Cool. Never heard of those.
Yeah. Shit. Girl, I don't know.
That's all good.
Oh, wait. Grandma's really sick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grandma. I'm not going to, yeah. They stole all mine. I don't know. But shout out, I think the Minneapolis music scene in general is also just so, awesome. I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
So I'm not from the cities. I'm not from anywhere near here. And, I was not expecting it moving here. I was not expecting it to be so just, involved. And there's so many little venues and, just access. And it's super great. It's what's making me stay in Minneapolis after I graduate. I wouldn't have stayed otherwise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then I have to ask, why Minnesota if you're from the East Coast?
I got sort of recruited, convinced to apply to Gustavus when I wasn't going to go to college, or at least I was going to take a gap and live in New York and just kind of pursue music on my own, see what happened. But then I was the band director came to my high school and was like, you should apply. And so I applied and the financial aid was good. And I was like, yeah. I was like, listen to all I'm known for. I came because I need getting a degree is good.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I was getting good financial aid. And then, I met these guys, I made my friends, and I kind of went into it thinking I'll leave after a year just to get my mom off my back. But then I couldn't see myself being anywhere else after that first year. So yeah. Thanks, Henry.
Well, awesome. Last thing here, where can people keep up to date on all things Waking Hours? What's the best way to stay connected?
Instagram.
TikTok.
Oh yeah,
We do have a TikTok. I'm gonna try to. We have to make more TikToks.
More TikToks.
Yeah, get on that
More
content.
TikToks.
Content
Yeah.
grind.
the
Content creating.
The label wants more TikToks.
Label is me.
Yeah, Instagram is good.
It's both of those are wakinghours.band.
Yes.
So
wakinghours.band.
.band. And also like all streaming platforms, you can find our music. You can find our Bandcamp. I would say there's another group called The Waking Hours, and that's not us. So
Not
just
us. Stay away.
When you see a little profile picture that's like 4 people staring longingly into the distance, that's us.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
like a
beautiful and
sunset
handsome
vibe.
and ethereal.
Yeah, they're very ethereal.
Yeah. We're dreamy individuals.
Oh yeah.
Just blank staring.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you all coming on the pod. Thanks for playing a live session, and
course.
have
Thank
a great
you.
rest of your evening.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for having
Thank you
us.
so much.
You have been listening to the Ear Coffee Podcast. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and share so we can stand out against the sea of other music podcasts. You can find information and other important links in the show notes of this episode. If you would like to support us, please consider subscribing on Patreon for early access to live sessions and other bonus content. You can also subscribe to our Substack for a regular newsletter with reviews, ramblings, and anything else we have to say. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.